Hey, Shalom Makiyam. All right, we are the true Hebrew Israelites, prophesying the downfall of this wicked queendom day in and day out, and openly testifying our Savior openly. All right, before this wicked, untoward, abominable generation, man. But first and foremost, we would like to turn to the east and give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rechakodash. A double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where we learned this 144% truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth, to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which would be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. Shalom.
Shalom.
Hey, shalom, beloved Akim and Akwa. And we back again through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of our power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right, the true names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, and the Lashawan Kodash. All right, and hey, we're here to do what we've been, Lord willing, all right, predestinated to do, foreordained to do, and that's prophesy, man. What can one do but prophesy? All right, here it is. We're embarking on salvation, and we're witnessing our arch enemy in the form of Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, literally self-destruct. All right, this man is in the shadows in the form of the global elite, trying to disrupt prophecy, trying to rearrange their fate. But as the Lord's given a order to the sea, all right, by a perpetual decree that it cannot pass, the same standard stands for Esau. This nigga has bounds he cannot pass. All right, it doesn't matter if he, plans on going to the moon, all right, via the Artemis 2. All right, not possible. It's not going to happen. All right, you're not going to be able to search out the depths of the sea. All right, you're not going to be able to search out all four corners of this earth. And we know this is what you're seeking out to do, because ultimately, what it all goes back to, all roads lead to evil E trying to steal back the birthright. Okay, everything this nigga's doing, all right, from what's going on right now in Western Asia, all right, to Esau making his way supposedly to the moon, that's not truly happening. He's lying. All right, to this nigga persecuting the tribes. All right, to him mandating soon enough that RFID microchip. All of this is for him to be able to position himself, all right, within synthetic immortality. Because he understands, what's that, Jeremiah, Jeremiah 31? Jeremiah 31? Can you grab that real quick? Something is wrong. Time a lot. And what I was going to say something. I thought there was something else that was on my mind. But needless to say, you got it, bro? Yeah, Con, you know what to start, right? Start around like 23? Start around about 33?
Jeremiah 31, verse 33. For this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days shall the Lord Jehovah, I will put my law into their inward parts, the write it in their hearts, it will be their power, and they shall be my people.
Yep, you see, and this is talking to the second covenant. All right? The second covenant is going to be what? When we're brought back to our righteous estates, right? We've fallen from grace. You see, we're in these chains of darkness due to our perpetual disobedience, man. And ultimately because of us breaking that first covenant. All right, but we're going to return to our righteous estate pursuant to the second covenant, where we'll have incorruptible bodies, bro. All right, we'll have rest, right? Rest will be allowed. We'll be immortal. All right, we'll have slaves. The slaves, you nations, what you're going to find out pursuant to the Levitical law, is that you're part of our inheritance, man. You are part of our inheritance, bro. And you're gonna find that out.
Ask me of the heathen.
Yeah, bro. Yep, exactly. Revelations, the 2nd chapter, you got Isaiah, right?
Psalms 2.
Psalms 2. Go ahead, brother, continue on.
Verse 34, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know Jehovah of God, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, so that Jehovah will forgive their iniquity, and I'll remember their sin no more.
Right. So see, we're teaching our people right about now. This is why we're out here. We're out here to teach our people the fear of the Lord. We're prophets unto our people first and foremost, but we're also prophets unto the nations, unto the heathen, because they got to know their judgment. But first and foremost, hey, we're prophets unto our people. We're teaching them the fear of the Lord. When we're in that second covenant, that's not going to be the case. You see, but needless to say, brother, can you continue? And this is Esau can't change this reality. You see, prophecy's playing out right now in efforts for us to transition to the next stage of prophecy. This was how this thing was going to go down. We were going to be gathered by the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which will lead to the salvation of the elect of Israel, which will bring in that second covenant, bro, and the eon of Jacob. That's the reality of this thing. Esau's trying to change this reality, but it's not possible, brother. Can you keep going?
Verse 35, will say the Lord Jehovah will give us a sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, will divide the sea when the waves are of roar. The Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name. If these ordinances depart from before me, said the Lord Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation.
Now hold on. Well, can you go get Jeremiah? Can you get Jeremiah? I think it's here's the fear you not me. Is that Jeremiah now? 5. Can you get Jeremiah the 5th chapter of the show? Not you out here. You out. Read that again, about the show.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 25. It said the Lord Yahweh will give it the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night. But divided the sea when the waves were of roar. The Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name.
Keep going.
If those ordinances depart from before me, said the Lord Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation.
He said if those ordinances what? Depart from the Lord, which we know that's not possible. When you read Sirach, the 43rd chapter, all right, the Lord established the sun and the moon, okay, and all the constellations, bro, which they're immortal because they're in their perfect order. You see, so if that can be changed, or if the bound of the ocean, can you read that real quick about the church?
There's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 5. I'm gonna start at verse 20. Or do you want me to go
straight to the point?
Jeremiah 5, verse 22. Fear ye not me, says the Lord. Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree, and it cannot pass it? And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet they cannot prevail. Though they roar, yet they cannot pass over it.
The sea has a bound, right? And it's bounded by a perpetual decree.
Man,
meaning that decree, right? Meaning that decree is not going to change. It's perpetual. It's forever.
Right.
You see? So if Esau is able to some way, somehow disrupt that, right? Or any other ordinance that he established, the Lord, right, via the sun and the moon. This is why he's trying to block out the sun, right, under the Bill Gates regime, right, and some other wayward, bugged out technocrats. Right. They're trying to block out the sun via satellites.
Right.
They think they're talking about going to the moon and shit. Right. This is all to disrupt the prophecies, man. Right. The birthright. It's still back to birthright.
I was gonna go back to what you're talking about, that birthright. But go ahead.
Yeah, continue. Well, what you got? I'm gonna go to Durham. We're gonna go back to time. Yeah. So we're building the case right now. Go ahead, brother. That's the spirit. You're in the spirit thing. Go ahead, Shafar.
They said the Lord Yahweh, if heaven above can be measured.
If heavens above can be measured, right?
And the foundations of the earth search out beneath.
And the foundations of heaven, did it say heaven?
The earth.
Earth, excuse me, searched out beneath.
I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, said the Lord Jehovah.
Evil Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, he knows this, bro. This is well-known information. This is what Esau is trying to form one of these acts here.
Yeah.
To stop us. But it's not possible.
That's why he got the hydro colliders.
Right,
in
in
Geneva, Switzerland.
Right.
You know,
NASA program.
Yeah, he's trying to find something with time.
Right.
Then time, you know, wormholes, all types of shit.
Exactly.
To try to defeat Yahweh Bashim Yashai with his pseudoscience.
Right. Because he knows this is written right here, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Esau has this information. So he's trying to pursue a plan, right, to try to stop the children of Israel from being able to get their birthright, bro. All right, and this is why when you go back in time, that's the spirit. The brother had that James, that was the spirit, brother. We want to go there with the spirit. Esau literally, okay, he stood on deleting Jacob. When the moment came where Isaac would pass away. You know, because he knew and understood the mistake he made when he sold his blessing or birthright rather for a pot of lentils. Uncooked pork, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Raw meat. He realized them and he understood the gravity of what he did after the fact. But being that he has a microwave mindset,
Right.
you know.
McDonald's drive-through.
Right. He got a McDonald's drive-through mindset. Yeah. He wants it now. YOLO, you only live once. He's very intemperate.
Now or never.
Right. Yeah. Covetous. Right.
Because all the sayings come from him.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Live tomorrow's not promised, and we know tomorrow isn't promised. But the way Esau make it look like, we got to get it today.
He makes it seem like you're never coming back.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? He dresses it up like you're not gonna come back.
Right. So do what you gotta do today.
What you gotta do today?
Get it at all costs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That YOLO spirit.
Yeah.
What about this stuff? Can you
and that's why it's a lot here.
What you got? Now hold that, but you got
it. Him tapping into trying to go to the moon and stargazing and all that. That's why the Lord said, tell your daily prognosticators,
right,
see if they can save you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's gonna have to try to revert to all that witchcraft, which he's using to try to disrupt the Lord, as you've been saying.
Nah, that's his counsel.
Right.
His counsel consists of warlocks, wizards, and witches.
And lies.
And this is which is the divination and incantations and you know what I mean. This is he's into soothsaying and you know what I mean.
And magic. The only way magic works is through deception. Exactly. If you can deceive the eye, right. You've performed your magic.
That's right.
But if you can't deceive the person, which we know that the elect is not going to be deceived, he's going to fail the mission through that remnant that the Lord has, gathered together.
Right,
that remnant that he held.
Right. Prophecy has him in a losing seat.
Right.
Prophecy has him in a position where he's going to lose. He's just playing that role of being defiant.
Right.
And trying to stop his reality.
Satan's counterpart.
There you go.
Yeah. Want me to bring this up, brother?
Khan,
I'm going to go right to the point, right? In Genesis 27 and verse 41.
Matter of fact, start at 38.
Khan, okay.
Khan. You got it, brother.
Khan, Genesis 27 and verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
There it is. This nigga's 44. When you read up in this chapter,
then he's my age.
This nigga's 44 years old. Crying like like your old lady.
Right.
All right. When you threaten to leave her.
Right. Crying like a little kid at Walmart.
Yeah, man.
You want to play my favorite toy.
This nigga was 44 years old at this point. You know what I mean? You can read up in the chapter. He's 44. All right.
That shit always make me laugh when it says, and he lifted up his voice and wept.
Right, because he saw
that nigga yelled.
Right. He was well wailing.
Yeah.
And he's a crybaby now.
Yeah.
Look at him. Look at the Trump regime, bro.
Yeah.
The fact that they can't stop them Iranians.
Yeah.
Got Trump on the podium just lying.
Right.
Point blank. Making idle threats. Talking about he's gonna send them back into into the
Stone Age.
Stone Age. That's where they belong.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
belong there.
Come.
You're the fucking caveman.
That's it. But needless to say, you got
It's always Esau trying to put his history on somebody else. Right?
Yep.
Verse 39.
Which side? You know?
Right.
Right, the Palestinians supposedly they're Amalek.
Looking like a big ass. He look like a big ass. What's that? The Oompa Loompas. Willy Wonka chocolate factory.
Right.
Verse 39. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him,
Which was Yahushua, you can receive it.
God, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven
This is
from above.
and this is critical to understand. The Lord said, your dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Meaning what? You're not going to be able to go beyond the radiation belt.
Right, the Allen belt.
The Van Allen. You're not going by that radiation belt. There's no way. You're not going to have the necessary materials, right, to get the product created in the form of a shuttle to get through that radiation, to get through that heat. And it also mentions the dew of heaven. And again, this is like the elder apostle Tahar has mentioned. This is why you have to know how to speak English to be an international pilot. Because Esau's blessing, he has control of the airways.
Right.
He has control of the airways, bro. You know, that's part of his blessing. This is no coincidence, man.
Yeah, everywhere, every air zone you enter, they ask you, to identify yourself in English.
You have to know how to speak English if you're an international pilot.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
So here it is. This nigga's from fucking some. He's from a fucking island somewhere you never even heard of, but he decided to be a pilot, right? And this nigga has to learn how to speak English.
Don't get shot down.
You know,
might get shot down or arrested.
Well, he'll never even get the ability. You know what I mean? Like to get those credentials, you got to go through Esau.
Right.
He wants full control.
Yeah.
Of but he's in his blessing though.
Yeah.
You know, that's why he's able to. Hey, this is the Lord's beautiful how he set this day. Like that right there is the evidence in itself.
Right.
You know, so he's Esau.
Right. Continuing on, Genesis 27:40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Right, he did that throughout the time of King David. Right, he was able to, get himself freed up because King David had garrisons all throughout Edom. But through Solomon's, disobedience, and through the sake of prophecy having to have to be fulfilled,
right?
He was able to wiggle back into the wilderness.
This was a prophecy,
right? That's it. It was all a prophecy had to be fulfilled.
Right.
Here's
the point. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Right. He hated Jacob because of the blessing he received, because the blessing he received was oriented around what? The inheritance rights, right? Of being the firstborn. But that fell upon Jacob because ultimately, again, Esau sold his birthright to Jacob.
Right.
He lost the rights of the firstborn. And it was all set up.
I was about to say that. It was all ordained. It was never his to begin with.
Right. Matter of fact, you get that Romans 9, Noah?
Because he
what the brother did, you got it? Get that in Romans 9, so you know where to go.
Because the brother, the Lord said what when he sent the angel? He said that the elder shall serve the younger.
Yep.
And to serve means you're a servant. That ain't a blessing, that's a curse.
Yep. Exactly.
And remember, Esau is the house of the Lord's curse, man.
That's it. Proverbs 3:33. That's right. Bring that out, brother. Right to the point. Romans
9, verse 11. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil,
right.
For the purpose of Jehovah, God, according to election might stand.
See that? According to election might stand.
And who's the elect?
Jacob was already predestinated to be elected since before the foundation of the earth.
What does the scripture say?
Ephesians, the first chapter.
And what does the scripture say? Israel, mine elect.
Right, Isaiah 45.
Yep.
You know, but when you tap into this thing through the spirit and understand what's happening, especially with Ephesians, the first chapter, this stuff has been preordained since the heavens, since before the earth even began, right? Meaning that there was a priesthood in the heavens upon Yahweh Shai bringing forth the 144, right? Via the blueprint from Yahweh, right? You see? So read that one more time, brother. See, these precepts go deep.
Right. They cut deep too.
Yeah.
For the unknown.
Yep.
You find out you're a little nigga waking up at 12 o'clock at night, waiting for a fat guy in a red suit to come down the chimney, and you find your mom putting the gifts under the tree. That shit's gonna cut deep. Because you've been fed a lie all your life. It's the same shit with these Christians and these unbelievers when they understand the truth that the one you call God doesn't love everybody, man. You know, it's a harsh reality and it's a hard pill to swallow. But you know, there's not enough water for you to swallow that pill.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, bro.
For the thorn, Romans chapter 9, verse 11, for the thorns of being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, but the purpose of the whole body of God, according to election might stand.
That shows you was predestination. They didn't do any good or evil.
Right.
It was predestinated. You got it, bro.
Not of works, but of him that calleth.
Right. And that's pretty much the point. You know, because that right there sets the tone for the reality of Esau's fate. Esau wasn't elected. Malak, can you go to 2nd Ezra, the 3rd chapter? You got it? Verse like 16, I believe it is. Go ahead, brother. Bring that out. That's the spirit. You in the spirit.
2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 16.
He's in the spirit.
And unto him thou givest Isaac.
Yup.
And unto Isaac.
Malak, shout up. But forgive me. Start up a little bit, like 15 or 14.
Con, 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 13. Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham.
Yup.
Him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showest thy will.
Right, and we know Abraham, all right, the covenants and the oaths, all right, started with Abraham. All right. Yahweh back in Genesis, right? Genesis, the 15th chapter. Okay, he blessed Abraham, bro. All right, with the saying that what? He blesses, he's gonna actually promise that land to his seed after him, bro. The land of Canaan. You know? And then when you read up, like Genesis, I don't know, maybe 20, I think it's like 25, it says the same thing to Isaac. Right?
Right. That's why the sentiment is always Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's it.
We don't mention nobody else. Yeah.
Right. And then when you go into the book of Ecclesiasticus, it mentions the 12 tribes of Israel is where those promises and oaths rested upon.
That's right. That's right.
You know?
Hey, on that same chapter, Romans 9, from 3 to 5, verse 3 to 5, it tells you that it's according to the flesh. The promises, the giving of the law, the word, you know, everything.
Right.
The adoption, you know, the glory.
Right. The service.
The services, yeah, it's all to Israel according to the flesh.
That's it.
That cancels out that spiritual Israel.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, the church will say, oh, that's a spiritual Israelite.
Right.
Believe.
Right. Brother, can you go back to that? Read that again? Because this is what Esau's trying to disannul. This is what we have to understand. Esau's trying to disannul his fate. This is the topic that's at hand. Evil East trying to disannul his fate. It's written. Watch it. Go ahead, brother.
3, verse 13. A little louder, brother. A little louder.
Yeah, nice and loud.
Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham. And thou lovest, and unto him only thou showest thy will.
Keep going.
And madest an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed.
Right. Go ahead.
And unto him thou givest Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou givest Jacob and Esau. After Jacob thou didst choose unto thee, and put by Esau.
He put by Esau. Esau was put by. That's something he can't deviate from that pass.
Nope.
His progenitor was put by.
That's right.
Our progenitor was favored.
That's right.
And what's so heavy, this is another book in the Apocrypha where Jacob and Esau are being mentioned.
Right.
Right? Same book, 2nd Ezra, different chapter.
Right.
Right? They also mentioned in 2nd Ezra 6.
Right.
Right? So this is heavy, bro. So how is the Apocrypha, which is the Deuterocanonical book,
right,
not canonical? How is it not canonical? How is it not cohesive?
that like I said, like I always bring out, that would mean that Daniel's vision was void.
Yep.
Because where's the Grecian history at?
There you go. That's just another aspect.
Yeah, that's that killer point right there.
That's another aspect of it.
When these Christians are talking about no Jew, no Greek, or nothing. Okay, so show me where the fucking history's at.
Right. Because
You know?
that history brings the validity of us and Esau.
Right.
Because the Lord calls out names and regarding the Greeks.
Right.
You know, from Holofernes to Antiochus Epiphanes.
That's right.
Alexander the Great.
And they can no longer defend what's his name? Timothy's father. Is it Timothy's father being a Greek?
Yes.
But that's going into Hellenista.
He was a Hellenized.
Yeah, Hellenista. It goes back to what? The first Maccabees.
Right, but these Christians are stupid, bro. Yeah. We know that. But I want to stick to this point. Wow. Forgive me, forgive me. Go ahead, out there. Go ahead.
So number 3, verse 16.
Right.
And unto him they'll give his Isaac, and unto Isaac also they'll give Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou him to thee, and put by Esau, and so Jacob became a great multitude.
How? Malak, can you jump to second Sirach 34? The book of 12, the 1 precept in the book 34. Because it said, Jacob became a great multitude. What? Go ahead, bro.
The last precept?
Start up a little bit. Not 35. Not 35, Malak. At 35. I believe it's 35. I always mix those two up.
36.
Bear with me.
From that 350 shooting.
You know what, Malak? It's 44, brother. It's 44. Yeah, start at verse 19. But read nice and loud.
Ecclesiastes. Abraham was a great father of many people.
There goes Abraham being brought up again. Why is Abraham being brought up again? Because like we had mentioned a moment ago, the covenants and the oaths started with Abraham. You see? Now, real quick, when you look deep into this, right? Yahweh was dealing with Abraham before he was even circumcised, bro. And it tells you in Romans 4 that what justified Abraham and what was counted for righteousness was his faith that he believed in Yahweh, man. He believed, bro. You see? Which goes to show you what? Faith is how you please the Lord. Pursuing the Hebrews 11, man. Without faith, it's impossible to please him.
Right.
You see that? So, and that's heavy because we're in the stead of Abraham. You got certain brothers that are not circumcised, right? You got us in a situation where, you know, we're wearing mixed fabric. We're in a position of complete disobedience, not openly, we don't want to be.
Right.
But we're in captivity.
Right.
But guess what? What separates us from a 2/3 so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American? We believe.
We're not going egg hunting on Sunday.
Right. Exactly. We believe. We have faith. We're not taking part in these idol. Right. And we're not taking part in these idealistic, if that's a word, holidays.
Right.
You see, we separated ourselves from these idols. We were once part of it.
Right.
We were once immersed in it, bro. Right. Halloween, remember?
I would have probably been dressing up as a bunny like an idiot this Sunday to chill with my grandchildren.
Right. Yeah, bro.
Spreading eggs and shit, you know.
Yep.
Taking pictures.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life. Fuck all that.
Right. And then going to IHOP.
Right. I would want to make sure the Lord is pleased with us.
Right.
Fuck everything else.
See, we separated from this place, bro.
Right.
The Lord in John 4, it says what? The Lord told that Samaritan woman, There's gonna come a time, you don't know who you worship, but there's gonna come a time, right? Where the true worshipers
Yeah.
are gonna worship the Father in spirit and in truth, bro.
That's right.
All right, and we are in that time.
That's right.
And this is being executed before an untoward generation, bro.
Right.
2/3 can't receive what they can't pick up what we're putting down because it's of the Lord.
That's right.
You see, you have to be of a aristocratic mind to really understand what's happening, bro.
To be initiated.
That's it. You gotta have the Holy Spirit gotta be resting upon you.
That's right.
See? And that's the only way you will be able to receive these mysteries.
That's right. That's right.
You know, that the Lord has right before your eyes, bro.
That's right. What Amos 3:7, the Lord will do nothing but reveal his secrets unto the prophets, his servants. You know?
Go ahead, brother. What you got?
The whole bunch of God.
That's a head, that's a spirit.
Said, telling Israel, circumcise therefore your hearts, meaning your mind.
Yep.
That's right. So they could have been physically circumcised, but have an uncircumcised mind.
Circumcision starts with the mind. It's a mindset. You see what I mean? That's why we should be mindful, you know, of not having any leaven in our walk.
That's right.
Which goes from you what? Viewing a brother a certain way, you looking at yourself and not literally measuring yourself and saying, you know what, I'm doing too much of this.
Examining yourself.
Exactly. You know, you're not taking into consideration, you know, your faults.
And you gotta,
You know, you're not trying to improve through the spirit. It can be more than just doing lessons.
right.
You gotta walk the specific walk, bro.
Right.
As a man of the Lord to the best of your ability.
Right. Yeah, because you know,
But we'll go back to the point.
As the scripture says, you know, there was men that profaned themselves to be
feigning themselves.
Yeah,
You got it.
so they were acting righteously. You know, there's a lot of those people amongst the body as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that behind closed doors are doing wickedness, but the Lord's gonna reveal that all in due time.
Make it out.
Right, they're not.
They're not gonna make
You
it.
know, and that's why it's critical, like you were saying, is to examine yourself, because we're in these chains of darkness. So if you get comfortable in your ways, you're gonna go off, because you gotta always understand. You know, you gotta always have that mindset of what am I doing wrong? You know, how can I do better? You know, because we're never gonna be perfect. We gotta strive for the mastery,
Right.
but we're never gonna get there. That's only shot.
Perfect in the spirit,
Right.
but never in the flesh.
Right.
And how we're perfect in the spirit is by having the correct understanding, the correct doctrine.
That's right.
You see, but going back to the point where Abraham, God, what you got, brother? Because ultimately, sticking to the point, right? Because the brother's about to read down into in Sirach 44. Now, what has to be understood, this was all established due to the reality that what? Esau was put by.
Right.
We can't forget. In 2nd Ezra, the 3rd chapter, Esau was put by.
Right. There was only one chosen seed.
Right. He was put by in Genesis, the 27th chapter, bro.
And that's heavy, because you were talking about the promises that came through Abraham. That's why I brought this out.
That's the spirit. And this is what Esau's trying to deviate.
Right.
He's trying to deviate his reality, bro.
Right.
You got him a lot.
There's the book of Galatians chapter 3, verse 16. Now to Abraham and his seed,
And
where the promise is made.
Yup.
He says not, and to seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Hamashiach.
Right. Because that was Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh Shai was Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you prove that.
Mm-hmm.
You see? And that's how you know Yahweh Shai had it out for Esau from the beginning too. Because he blessed him with that sword. He elaborated on that sword, and you will live by that sword. You kept reading down in that Genesis. That's the spirit.
Right.
You know, he elaborated that you're gonna get this sword, you're gonna live by this sword too.
Right.
But then again, when you go to the Gospels, he's telling Peter, the head of the church, put down my sword. Right. Wrapped up.
Right. And it was heavy.
The centurion's era.
Yep. Put the sword in our place.
Right, and he said there's so many words. If you live by the sword, you're gonna die by it. So many words he said that. You know what I mean? But then here it is in Genesis 27, bless Isaac with it.
And you know what's heavy about
knowing he was gonna fall apart for Lakia, brother.
Yeah, you know what was heavy about what you said? That when you brought out that scripture, that he put Esau back and chose Jacob. That goes back to that seed, not as of many, but as of one. You see? So there was two seeds in the womb, but he only chose one and put the other one aside. You see what I'm saying? This is what the world can't grasp, you know, because they've been fed lies by the devil himself, Esau, Edom.
Well, I'm gonna
Which-
say this: there was one seed in Rebecca,
Con,
but two separate
con,
nations.
two nations. Con, because each one became a seed themselves.
Right, but that seed is talking to Isaac.
Right.
But ultimately, that was the chosen seed
Seed, yeah. That's what I meant. Jacob
from Abraham.
was the he was that's the lineage. You know, Esau wants to make it as of everybody.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Which what he wants to
Because
include.
Isaac had Jacob and Esau.
Nah,
You see that?
nah.
So Isaac was Yahweh's side. He had Jacob and Esau, but through those two sons,
Right.
that like you had just mentioned, that chosen people came through Jacob.
Right. And you know what's heavy
I know
about
what you're saying. That's what you were saying.
and you know what's heavy about that? Showing you that Yahweh Shai is one is when he says me and the Father are one,
Right.
that means they're one-minded.
There you go.
Because remember, Yahweh said that what? A false balance is an abomination unto me.
Yep.
So he gave one the blessing and he gave the other one a curse.
Right.
You see?
That's
And he had to pay for his so-called blessing at the end.
That's it.
You know?
Yep.
And he really gave a blessing to the other one, which was a perfect balance.
Right.
You know?
And the Lord, that's beautiful that you say that. Because the Lord was so just in how he dealt with all the evil as well.
Right.
He allowed all of them to rule at some point in time.
Right.
But he saved the best for last.
That's right. Yep.
You know?
Full of his eyes.
Because our blessing is perpetual.
Right.
That's why these heathen, hey, let them live it up.
Right.
You know, because once we get into the driver's seat under Yahweh Bashim outside, it's over, bro.
Yeah, because you know what? A marriage through the laws of Yahweh Bashem Shai is supposed to be a congregate forever. You and your woman are supposed to be
So
till death do you apart. So this is a marriage with Yahweh Bashem Shai through that second covenant, which is what we're never gonna be divorced from our power ever again.
Right.
And our power lives forever, which is gonna grant us that immortality as well.
Right, because you're not supposed to separate from your wife unless it's due to adultery.
Right. And we're not gonna go off of it.
Exactly. Spiritual.
God.
Brother, but can you keep reading down Akia in that? Because again, Esau's trying to deviate everything we just talked about.
Right.
This has been established, bro. All right, from the from the days that were before thee. All right, even from the beginning, this was all preordained.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Mabako Sah, can you read that Akia?
What do you mean? 44?
You gotta do it. Go ahead, bro.
Number 44, verse 19.
Yep.
Abraham was a great father of many people.
Right.
And glory was in none like unto him.
Right.
He kept the law of the Most High Yahweh and was in covenant with him and established the covenant in his flesh. And when he was proved, he was found faithful.
Right. That covenant that he established with his flesh was that circumcision. But guess what? When he was proved, right? What was he proved? When was he proved? To sacrifice Isaac. And guess what? That was before he was circumcised. He believed in the promises that Yahweh had told him, even though he told him that through your seed, which is Isaac, your only begotten, right? He even called Isaac the only begotten, but Abraham had other sons, bro.
Right.
You see that? But guess what? That was before he was circumcised, man.
Right.
You see? So Abraham had faith, man. He believed Yahweh. That's what Romans 4 is talking about. You know? So go ahead, bro.
Yeah, well, somebody's born. They're born. They're not from around here.
Right. Go ahead, brother. The same 350Zs has been driving by. You, Akia and Minakwat, have been hearing in the background for the past. Since we started.
It was like the 7th time.
Since we started camp.
Right.
Is he all right? Demons on him. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Read that. People go over that. He really, truly do.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Akia. Read that, man. Brother, read the precept, bro.
Yeah.
We got to read down.
Chapter 44, verse 21. Therefore, he assured him by an oath that he would bless the nations in his seed, and that he would multiply him as the dust of the earth.
What nations is he talking about? The nations that will be blessed in his seed are the nation of Israel. Each tribe is considered a nation.
Right.
You know?
Hey, we got Issachar, separate country. You know, you got Ephraim. You know, you got Gad that was here. You got, you know, so-called Jamaicans. They had their island. You know, Cuba, so on and so on.
Right, and what proves it is when you go to Genesis. The Genesis, I believe it's 15. The Lord mentions it, man. He's gonna bless his seed, and many nations should be blessed.
Right, and that's because
You
we're
know?
gonna be scattered too.
Right. Go ahead, bro.
We're multitude.
Right.
And exalt his seed as the stars, and cause him to inherit from sea to sea, and from the river unto the utmost parts of the land.
Right. And guess what? That's the whole area over there in Western Asia. That goes back to the so-called the Israeli project, right? That they think they're gonna accomplish, right? Which is not possible. They're not gonna get from the river Euphrates all the way down to what is it? Egypt. They're not getting all that. It's not possible, bro. That's why you got all them Arabs in modern day Jordan, in Edom right now, which is Jordan.
Right.
It's Arab down over there, bro.
Right.
That land's supposed to already be confiscated pursuant to Obadiah. All right, 1 in like what is it, 21? That land's already supposed to be confiscated, man.
Right, if they were the real peoples.
Right, 19 is it?
I think
Obadiah 1 and 19.
18 and 20, I think it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
because it's Obadiah 1 and 19.
Yeah.
Because 18 is going to go into the burn down,
Yep.
and then 19 goes into how that land, right, the Mount of Esau, should be in the possession of the land of the south, which is Judah.
Yep.
That's verse 19. Go ahead, brother.
And what said, stars shall come out of Jacob, and out of Jacob shall come he that hath dominion, and Seir shall be a possession to his enemies. And so they should already done conquer Edom. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah, but that star hasn't came.
That's right.
Because we're the ones waiting on Yahweh Shai.
That's the point he's making.
Yeah.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, and that's how we know, because when you marry that with Luke 21 and 24, and you read down, after what he says, and then shall the Son of Man come in a cloud in the glory, you know, with all power and glory, you know. So it hasn't been fulfilled. You know, they'll stop at 24 and say, that's been fulfilled. No, keep reading, nigga.
Right.
It said, then there be signs in the heavens, uproars of the people, and then you shall see the Son of Man come. That's it, you know.
Go ahead, Malak Babakosha.
Verse 22, with Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham his father's sake the blessing of all men, and a covenant, and made a rest upon the head of Jacob. He acknowledged him in his blessings, and gave him inherited, and divided his portions among the 12 tribes to impart them.
Can you read that one more time, Babakosha?
Sons. With Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham his father's sake.
And that's in Genesis 25. Go ahead.
The blessing of all men in the covenant, and made it rest upon the head.
Those all men being Israel. Go ahead. The head of Jacob. Who's Jacob? The progenitor of who? Go ahead, bro.
He acknowledged him in his blessing, and gave him inheritance, and divided his portions among the 12 tribes that he parted them.
Right. The 12 tribes. He parted them. So this covenant, this promise of us returning back to the promised land, all right, being immortal, all right, and regaining stability on earth as the righteous rulers, that's gonna come to pass, bro. That has to come to pass. So here's Esau, right? Here's Esau in the White House, right? And we have to understand the president's just a puppet, right? More or less the elite. All right, here we got the elite, brother. Can we get that in you guys got that earlier? Yeah, can you grab that real quick? Here we go. We got the elite in the cut, hiding out in Paris and living in palaces, man.
Islands,
right?
Like Epstein,
hiding. Yep, calling the shots.
Yeah.
Talking and trying to make plans and plots to pretty much stop our reality to come to pass in the form of the prophecies, man.
Put it this
of
way.
us being on top via Yahweh Shai coming back and us being brought back to our glory, man.
Right. And put it this way. Those elites, as you know, Trump can walk by you and you're like, oh shit, that's Donald Trump. An elite can walk by you and you won't know who he is.
Yeah.
He'll look like some regular Edomite, you know, that's just going about his way to have some dinner.
Right, and this nigga just landed on a skyscraper in a helicopter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Took the elevator down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now he's ground level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This nigga land on a helicopter pad. You know what I'm saying? On a skyscraper.
Yeah.
You would never know.
But responsible for calling all these shots in these wars and all that, you know?
Right.
And you won't even know, because at the end of the day, they never show their face.
Niggas wearing Sauconys.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A New Balance jacket with a hole with a rip in it.
Yeah, some moccasins,
Yeah, right. Right.
some regular shoes, you know?
Right.
Yeah, some slacks.
Yep, you will never know.
Look like some regular old grandpa.
He's walking around amongst the goyim.
Yeah.
Right? In his mindset.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's like you know that show Game of Thrones.
Yep.
The face gods.
That's a fire.
When they don't know they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Because they're hidden in their
Yeah,
chambers.
Khan.
The face gods.
Yep. Yeah, Khan. That's the fire series.
Yep.
Oh, let me get this real quick. Shakar, what you got, brother? I'm gonna get this real quick. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, right? And verse I'm sorry, forgive me, Akiyam. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, right? And verse 17, it reads, and the dragon was wroth with the woman, right? And the dragon will be likened unto this revived Western Roman Empire, man, in the form of Babylon the Great, aka America, with Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, sitting on the throne, right? Calling the shots. Seeking out who? Seeking out the woman, right? Which the woman is talking to the elect of the nation of Israel, right? The widow, right? With the tears running down her cheek, right? The elect crying for righteousness, man. You know, calling this man out. You know, declaring his ways in his face. You see, this is detrimental to Esau. What we're doing, bro. This is what's truly damaging to this guy. Us bringing out prophecy, man.
Right.
Prophesying against them, bro. That's why the Lord tells us to prophesy against them, bro. In Ezekiel 35, I prophesy against this nigga, man. The Lord demanding us, commanding us to do it. This is the kryptonite to this nigga shit.
Hey.
This more, but you got him a lot.
He's in a smart car, and he's like, I gotta go to this place, but the computer overrides him,
right?
And he's trying to stop it from going to where the computer wants him.
That's prophecy.
But he's like, nah, I want to go this way. He's like, fuck, stop. You know, he's looking at it like that because right now
that's prophecy.
He's like, look, he's been saying that we're gonna go to war with so and so, that it's because of the Israelis and yada yada yada. Now they're looking into it. And they're like, this is really happening. You know, we're trying to deviate from this, but we have no choice but to do it. You know, that's like that car. You know that that got overridden by the system, and now it's taking you to whatever destination it wants.
He's already pre-programmed.
Yeah, pre-programmed to bring you wherever it's gonna go.
That's it.
You know.
Continuing on in Revelations 12 and 17, and the dragon was wroth with the woman. Pissed, man. You see that? Pissed, man.
Perpetual hatred.
Yeah, wrath, bro. He's pissed. Why? And went to make war with the remnant of her seed. See that remnant, that elect. Why though, right? Which keep the commandments of power.
That's right.
You see that? Those of you beautiful Akiyam and Akwa that kept the Passover last night, man. Okay? That are rehearsing the righteous acts. You know, walking in the light, right? Seeking Yahweh Shai's face, bro. Walking in the countenance of the Lord. Listen, Esau hates you for that, man. All right, because he understands what this means. He understands the gathering of the elect by the word of the Holy One is going to ultimately bring forth his demise, man. All right, let's go. Which keep the commandments of power and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. All right, the testimony going into what? The evidence, man. All right, we're witnesses, man. We're witnesses that our power liveth, man. Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, is alive and well, man. All right, and he's visiting the world which he made, man. And he's on Esau's ass, bro. Yahweh Shai has Esau's heel in the form of his prophets, man. Bringing forth this testimony day in and day out, week in and week out. You got it a lot.
There's the book of Psalms, chapter 37, starting at verse 12. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnashes upon him with his teeth.
Right, so this nigga plotting and planning to get us, man. Right, and ultimately he's gonna send his military soon enough. A special op, you know what I mean? He's gonna send them. But guess what? Isaiah 59 and 19.
That's right.
There's divine intervention that's gonna take place, bro. You got him a lot.
The Lord shall laugh at him For he sees that his day is coming.
See that? And we're laughing, and the Lord's laughing at him through us.
Right.
How-
Seeing all these prophecies coming to pass. We're like, we told you so, nigga. Your end is almost here. And you know what's heavy? I was just checking my news thing, right?
Con,
Peter Hegseth
con.
just fired the highest ranking military official of the army today. Their house is falling apart. What does that tell you? That things ain't going so good over there in Iran. Why would you fire your highest ranking official
Right.
of the U.S. Army if everything's going well?
That's right.
You know?
That's it.
Why would you fire an NBA coach?
Right.
Unless your team's winning.
Right.
You know?
That council would be cohesive.
Right. So it goes to show you through they can lie through the media, but their actions is telling something else.
Right.
The plane had said today.
Yeah.
Government he's kept when he going to fly, so he blamed him. He's like, that was his idea.
Right.
You see that?
Right.
Everybody's like this.
Pointing the finger at
Yeah, everybody's like this.
Hey, his own council can pass him down, right?
That's it. Yeah. They should fall upon their own sword.
As you read it, right here.
God, it says,
God.
the wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow
Yep.
to cast down the poor and needy
Right.
and to slay such as be of upright conversation.
Right. Because you see, Esau knows, a little bit more there about the second.
Yeah.
It goes into what you just said.
God.
I think the verse next verse. See, Esau knows that what we're talking about is detrimental to his house. All right? Because what we're doing is what? We're teaching our people righteousness, man. Which is the again. Righteousness is kryptonite to evil Eve.
That's right.
He's a wicked man. All right, they sleep not unless they cause something to fall, bro.
That's right.
What's that? Proverbs 4? We don't gotta grab it though.
Right.
You see, so when what we're doing is what's that? Amos 5? Right, we're establishing judgment at the gate. Order. All right? Judgment, man. And telling our people, hey, you better get right. And like Vocab Malone said on that podcast he was on. You had this Edomite talking about, so are people really believing in this stuff?
Right.
He's like, yeah, people are really believing. They're converting, man.
Right. He's keeping stats, numbers.
He pulled out numbers and stats, nigga. Like he can really track the spirit.
About 4 million in the past 2 years converted.
Like he can really track the spirit of the Lord.
Right.
Come on, man.
Right.
You got secret disciples, bro.
Right.
Nigga, you don't know what's going on.
Right.
How you get them numbers? You
got the believers that ain't out there.
That's it. Yeah, you got men with children, bro.
Yeah.
How you know my son believe? Right?
Right.
You nigga what?
Yeah.
But that's Esau for you.
He's the end all be all. He wants to sound like,
Yep.
But guess what? The Lord said the wisdom of this world is foolish unto the Lord.
That's it.
Your numbers and shit don't matter to him, man.
Right.
Verse 15, their sword shall enter into their own heart.
Their sword shall enter into their own heart, bro. You got it, Akia.
And their bow shall be broken.
And their bow should be broken, bro. So ultimately, all right, Esau, they're wicked. All right, they're gonna lose. All right, they're gonna lose at the end of this movie. All right, and their loss is gonna be catastrophic, man. All right, divine destruction is gonna come upon America, man.
Allow me to get this.
So I just want to say something to the spirit, right? We don't want to cut the spirit off through the spirit, but you definitely got it. The Lord has something planned for America that none of us can really even imagine. We read about it, but we truly can't fathom it, grasp it. We really until we see it. Revelation 15, brother. When we're on the ship, staring down through the firmament, right there, you got glass sprinkled with fire. And we're probably
13.
2 Corinthians 13. All right, you better believe it. You're gonna see that.
Isaiah 63.
Isaiah 63. Right?
Revelation 19.
Come on, man.
Continuing on in Psalms 37 and 20 to back up what you said. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs.
Damn.
They shall consume into smoke. They shall consume away. Shall they consume away? You see?
You got it.
Man, the Lord talking with that fire, man, that judgment, which is going to be thermonuclear missiles. And let's not forget that the chariots is coming with that concentrated heat. As we were just speaking about when the hour shall return, that we're going to be, Lord willing, we're part of that number. We're going to be up there, in those chambers until the indignation of the Lord passes away.
Isaiah 2, I'm gonna get that.
I'm
gonna get that. And Salaki, it's raining out here.
Yeah, God.
I like to have the Bible out here, but it's gonna show you the book.
Yeah.
Shakar, you got something, brother? You can grab something for the brother. No, you got him a lot. I'm
Amos
gonna grab
chapter
with
1 and verse 11. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof.
Wait a minute, I'm so sorry, Aki. I gotta say something on that one. The Lord said, for 3 transgressions of Edom,
Which is understand,
and for 4,
his mercy.
I will not turn away
So-
the punishment.
And what did the son of them
You got it.
dictionary say?
Right.
He's the only neighboring city with no mercy.
Damn.
So you see how the Lord is so poetic in his justice? And we ain't talking about no Tupac movie.
That's beautiful.
We're talking about the Lord's movie.
That's
You
it.
see what I'm saying? All this right here is poetic, man. And only we can decipher these mysteries through the spirit, power, and mercy
That's it.
of Yahweh Shem El Shai,
Beautiful.
which gave us the comfort of the Holy Spirit to understand these things. You know? Right, brother. I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity. Okay? And that's what? That goes to what? Ezekiel 36 and 5?
Yep.
Where he said, the Lord never changed his mind about your judgment, man. You know? The Lord never changed his mind. And that perpetual hatred stems back even further than Esau. It stems back to Cain, right? Being jealous of Abel, you know, being worthy to give the right sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because there's, like we said earlier, there's a perfect balance to this. There was a perfect balance from the beginning, you know? And Abel was given the understanding. Salakia. Got their reason for that. But see, the Lord gave Abel the understanding and not Cain. You see? And Cain was jealous about that. And it's the same thing with Esau. You know? Jacob got that blessing. Esau did it. And Esau's jealous, man. He's a covetous man. He can't just be satisfied with what he has, man. That's why he had to cry. Bless me also, you know, like a spoiled brat. And hey, the spirit bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of the living power.
Right.
As well as their spirit bears witness that they are the sons of the wicked.
That's right.
You know, because they got the same characters their forefather had, man. So that also, if you ain't know who Esau is, and you ain't prophesying against him, you ain't a man of the Lord, the whole bunch of God. Right. You ain't a prophet. With all the books of the prophets, Esau the most prophesied against. Obadiah, Malachi, Joel, Psalms.
Bro, even in the Torah. What did the Lord Yahweh say? I will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Back you up, brother. You right. 100.
Shit, from Genesis,
Even Balaam. He used Balaam to put a pretty much he had a vision of the fate of Edom and Amalek. Come on, bro.
What did he tell Cain? A fugitive and a vagabond, so you be,
That's
man.
right.
And I will have my face from you.
That's it.
Man.
That's right. That's it. He's man.
Yeah, man. These prophets were prophesied against Esau. That prophets are bad today. Hey, it was a good thing to be Esau in the beginning.
But he had a good run.
It's not a good thing to be Esau now.
Esau had a good run.
Right. Just like it was bad for us, but it's good. It's gonna be good for us now.
Right. Malak, you have more there?
No, one more.
Come.
Amos chapter 1 verse 12.
Woo!
When I will send a fire upon
There it is.
What shall devour the thousands of bars of
Damn, which is the castle. I'm sorry, brother, you got it.
Yep, the capital of Esau Edom over there in Mount Seir, man.
Which will be likened unto America
That's
now.
it. Yep.
Spiritually, that's all America.
Because as we say when they say Jerusalem, it's a people before it's a place. You know? So all these names are tokens of America, man.
And in Genesis 36, it says Esau is Edom.
Right.
So wherever this nigga is at,
that's their headquarters.
you know what I mean? Which we know America is the springboard.
Right.
It's his throne.
Yeah.
Oh, but that fire that he's gonna send upon Basra, while he does that, where's the elect gonna be? I got you right here, brother, in Isaiah 26. Right? Verse 20. The book of Isaiah, chapter 26 and verse 20, and it reads, come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers.
And notice how he said, my people. Okay? My people. Didn't say everybody. And who are the Lord's people? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And this time it's not going to be exodus for everybody. It's going to be just for the elect.
Yup. And shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, a little moment until the indignation be overpassed.
And that's why the Lord said, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous one is in it and are safe. He said, close the doors behind thee and hide themselves.
Right.
You see?
This is us in the chariot.
And only the elect that carry the true names of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right, are going to make it. Okay? You can't call yourself the elect talking about Yeshua, Jesus, God,
Right.
Yahweh.
And if I may, those that even calling on the right names are not going to make it.
Right.
You got to be of that predestinated.
That's it. That's it.
And this goes to show you that them chariots have room.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. God. Then the chambers.
Yeah, God.
Chambers are room.
Yeah. And shut that door. That's cold. Continuing on, verse 21, Isaiah 26 and 21. For behold, the Lord Yahweh cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain, man. You close it with that.
Hey, so you already know, man. Ain't nothing but death and destruction coming for Esau Edom, the wicked, man. Ain't gonna be no blessing. Ain't gonna be no tug of war for it. Ain't gonna be no chess games or Game of Thrones for the blessing or the birthright. No, man, that's already, hey, our footprint, our forefathers' footprint is already stamped on that birthright, man. All right, there's no way you're gonna be able to erase that because it was a covenant made by the Lord through His word, and the Lord is not gonna break His word, not even for His name's sake.
Right.
You see, the Lord is gonna perform His word wherever it goes,
Right.
and this word is being preached to the four corners of the earth, and then the end shall come.
Right.
And whose end is that gonna be? Esau's end.
Second Ezra 6 and 9.
That's right, man.
If we can close out with that, but like, you might get it now. I just want to make a point about me, brother. Pursuant to that precept, bro, it says the blood should be disclosed.
That's right.
Right, and we know scripture says, pursuant to what is the numbers, that the land cannot be cleansed.
35 and 33.
Right, the land cannot be cleansed unless unless him that shed the blood, his blood be shed on that land.
Unless
You know,
unless the
that's
blood,
the only way.
unless the
You
blood
want
of
to
him
grab
that shed it.
Real quick, and then he grabs that and we out. That's the only way. So that blood, man, listen, unbeknownst to you, Esau, when you were slaying us, bro, and even as you continue to slay us, and even you're gonna even, you know, again, Revelations 20 and 4, some of us are gonna get slayed in the days to come. All that blood gotta be paid back.
Matter of fact, I got something better than that, though.
But can you get that though?
God.
But Buckle Shot, you got something, you got that though.
God.
I know exactly where you're going.
God. Numbers 35 and 33. It says, God.
You got it.
So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood is defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
Esau, you gotta get caught up. You gotta get judged for what you've done. You're not gonna get away with all this bloodshed you've been doing.
No.
And then because it's in Ezekiel, what does Ezekiel says you have not hated blood, right? Blood's gonna pursue you, bro.
That real quick.
That's the spirit. But like you got it, Akia.
There's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35.
Brother, that in the Good News Bible is filthy.
I got it on KJV.
You would have to Google it. It's filthy, It's worth. You will see. It's worth it, bro. And the GMB, if you just Google it, Ezekiel 35 GMB, it'll come up. It's filthy.
There's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, and verse 5 in the GMB. It says, you were Israel's constant enemy, and let her people be slaughtered in the time of her disaster, the time of final punishments for her sins. So then, as surely as I, the sovereign Lord, am the living power, death is your fate, and you cannot escape it. You are guilty of murder, and murder will follow you. I will make the hill country of Edom a waste and kill everyone who travels through it. I will cover the mountains with corpses, and the bodies of those who are killed in battle will cover the hills and valleys. I will make you desolate forever, and no one will live in your cities again, then you will know that I am the Lord. Now I just want to get it real quick too in the KJV because of Numbers 35 and 33.
The Lord put the M word on him. You heard?
God.
He hit him with the M word, dog. You gotta be M. You got it out.
Ezekiel 35 and 5 in the KJV, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, says the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even thou shalt pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from him that passes out, and him that returneth, and I will fill his mountains with his slain men in thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolation, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. That's an ugly. That's an ugly judgment that's coming.
That's his fate. That you can't deviate from that.
Hey, the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord, and when you're in the hands of the Lord, that means your destiny. He can do whatever he wants with you, man. You're in the hands of him. You know?
Right. It's a
You got
beautiful thing.
you got your hands around somebody's neck, and you're stronger than him. You got his life in your hands. You can do whatever you want. You can let him go if you want, or you can squeeze him to death.
Unless he chokes you in the middle of your throat, right here.
Right.
That's the cheat code.
No, but I'm saying.
I know. I'm just saying.
The Lord, there's no.
Right. But that's the cheat code, though.
Yeah.
You know, somebody's like.
Yeah. But if you're too strong, you with a 6'2", 220-pound man, and you are 150 pounds lanky. This man got you. This man got the bear paws on your neck with both his knees on your shoulders. You're done, man. That's the position that the Lord got. Esau Edom, man. You know?
To the mighty man Edom shall be as a woman in her pain. You know, God flies like an eagle and spread his wings over Gaza when they have ships.
You got what I thought? I thought for something. I thought for something that was
Another one tomorrow. I can go right there.
Yeah, we were gonna close with that.
Oh,
but grab what you got, brother. You got it. We'll just hit him. We'll hit him with the rapid fire. No, you got it, Malash.
Joel chapter 3, verse 19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. For the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land.
See that? Because you have shed innocent blood, man. Okay? What did you say in Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 10? Right? For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and you shall be cut off forever.
That's right.
You know? Yeah, get that second Ezra 6.
Not concoct.
Right.
A synthetic immortality and still back to birthright. You've been lost.
Right.
All right, since you're via your progenitor Esau, selling it to our progenitor Jacob.
Right.
You ain't gonna change that fate. Obadiah 110. Bro, I can quote that right there. You can't change that. You're on the path to being cut off. Yep. That's the path that you're on.
The physician coming to cut off all disease.
That's it. He today is the king.
To die.
Tomorrow. That's it. That's it.
2 chapter 6, verse 8. And he said unto me from Abraham and to Isaac.
There goes Abraham and Isaac again.
When Jacob and Esau were born.
Jacob and Esau again. In the Apocrypha.
Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed.
And I'm going to close it out with something real simple. And whatever brother wants to take this as a title, take it as a title. We're going to keep the birthright being Israelites, and we're just going to hand you your death certificate. Okay? There's a difference between a birthright, because when you get a birthright, it means you were just born.
Right.
You're going to get your death certificate. Right. That's what awaits you.
Right.
You know, nothing but a toe tag.
That's it.
And a death certificate.
That's the description. That's beautiful, bro.
That's it. Those are the closing arguments.
Yeah, bro.
You know, to this testimony. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. And with that, we're going to give all honor and glory to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash.
I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And I want to say shalom to the brothers and sisters that are in this truth. Shalom.
Shalom.
Baba Ba.
Baba Bo.
Kwam Yashabala.
Kwam Yashabala.
Shalom.
Shalom. Hey, Shalom, Makiyam and Akwatha. Thank the water for tuning in. Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Hey, may Yahweh Bashim Shai be with you, beloved Makiyam and Akwatha. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom. Yahweh Bashim Shah Brakatham. Shalom. Shalom.